We're going live then. Hello, guys. Welcome to the Football Heritage Podcast. We have today a transfer deadline day special. We'll be talking about the latest transfer deals. So yeah, where do we want to go first? I think we should go to Chelsea first because they've had probably the busiest window of everyone in the Prem, everyone in Europe even. And yeah, we'll start with the Enzo Fernandez deal. I think he's having his medical, is it? Yeah, so
I've not actually been keeping up with the Enzo news, but
I think he's having his medical currently. But the thing is, Benfica want them to pay the release clause all at once, and Chelsea want to pay the release clause in installments because obviously they don't want FFP.
yeah.
So I think that's probably where the deal was stalling a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an odd one. It's like Chelsea, how many players they signed this window? I know this season they've signed 17 players, but just in this window they've signed what? How many?
This window, I can't even keep count again.
So possibly Fernandez, but we won't count Fernandez. So they've got Mudryk, Madueke, Gusto, Yao Felix, Fofana, the Brazilian Don. Who else they signed? I know there's more than that. There's some more players than that.
The Fofana guy, innit?
Yeah. I think I said Fofana. Yeah, I said Fofana. There's another player that they've signed. I can't remember who it was.
Badiashile.
Yeah, Badiashile.
They signed two Fofanas. They signed a striker, innit?
That's ridiculous. See, they even signed clones. Chelsea's spending has been obscene. I think they spent more this season than the other European leagues combined or something like that.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
It's just absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand. Well, I do understand how they
more than double actually, not even just more than double.
More than double the other European leagues combined. Yeah. Absolutely ridiculous.
Time I saw that stat, I think like the European leagues combined has spent maybe 60 M, and I think Chelsea were already on like 150 M, which is crazy.
Just absolute craziness, to be honest. I don't know. Bowley's just going crazy with the transfers. What's going on there? Like, why? That's my question. I know they're like 10th in the table and all that, but like, I don't understand why they're so desperate to dash so much money at players in January. Obviously, if you're a Chelsea fan, you're not going to be complaining because you're signing everyone left, right, and center. But from a like, what's the word? From like an integration standpoint, it doesn't make sense to sign 7+ players in a window in January, especially. It just doesn't make sense to me. But maybe I don't know. They're planning a huge summer clear out in the summer where they get rid of basically everyone that wasn't there before Potter. I think that's maybe what they're going to try and do, which I think is unlikely because of they have players on high wages. Like they still have Lukaku on their books. They still have Bakayoko on their book. I think maybe Bakayoko there's something going on with him in this transfer deadline day. They have Werner on their books. They have players that they just signed like Koulibaly on their books. Sterling, we don't know what's going on with him. It's obviously they've got rid of Jorginho. In fact, that's a good segue to obviously Jorginho. So, Ore, what do you think about the Jorginho deal for Arsenal?
Yeah, I'll be honest, it is a bit underwhelming, especially because we were first considering, Caicedo, and obviously the deal didn't materialize. But looking at it from that perspective is when it looks underwhelming. When you look at it just as a clear standpoint, you can kind of see why they would make that signing. He provides good cover at the sixth position. He's experienced, won a lot of trophies, was really good in that Chelsea side for that particular season when they won the Champions League. So, has a lot of experience and stuff like that. And for 10 mil as well, it seems like, it seems like a good deal. It seems like as if we didn't overspend, and it's only till 2024. So 1.5 year contract, if for some reason he doesn't perform to standards, then it's always easy to kind of let him go. If it's basically just a year and a half contract. So all in all, it's not awful. I mean, he'll provide good squad depth. It's not like he's going to jump straight into the starting XI. He provide really good squad depth. Can play a lot of our European games and stuff. And he can cover if Party gets injured or if anything happens with our midfield. So yeah, I think it's an okay sign in. But I feel like summer is really important for us in terms of the signings we make, because we definitely would now. It's very clear that we are lacking, these big signings. We're not able to get our top targets, and that's a bit worrying, because it's been like a reoccurring theme recently where like we target someone but we don't get them. We target someone, we don't get them. And just because they're not always ready to, I don't know, maybe it's like not ready to put enough money down and stuff like that. But yeah, I think their negotiation just needs to be way better moving forward. But from our business in January now, I'm not too upset about it. Like one of the things we had troubles with last season was that we didn't sign the players needed to cover certain positions. Now we've signed them. They might not be the best of the best in their positions, but I think the players we've signed would provide really good cover, especially in the positions that we need.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think it's a decent signing, to be fair. It's not an amazing. Some people out there on certain news platforms are saying it's a top signing, spectacular, amazing signing. It's a good signing. Obviously he'll be back up to Partey, and it's a player with experience. Maybe it'll even boost the dressing room, to be honest, because obviously you guys are in a title race right now. You're leading the league. It's never gonna hurt the squad to get someone with the experience of Jorginho into the team. So yeah, I think it's a decent signing for Arsenal. We'll see how he does, to be honest. I don't think it can really go wrong, to be fair. Unless it's a situation where Partey gets injured and then there's more pressure on Jorginho, but he's got the experience in the league and then Champions Leagues and such and such. So I think it's a decent deal. Obviously, it's a bit disappointing for you guys to not get Caicedo, because of Caicedo's the next guy. He's the next one up. He's quality. Like I want him at United. I think we should look at that in the summer. But I think there'll be like a 3-horse race probably for Caicedo in the summer. I don't know what will happen. Maybe Chelsea will drop out if they get Enzo Fernandez, because it looks like they want their midfielder now, which is a bit odd to me, because there's a lot of good midfielders available in the summer. But maybe Chelsea want to make that final push to try and get a European spot. But yeah, it's a bit disappointing for us not getting Caicedo. And then you guys got Trossard as well. Obviously, that happened quite a while ago, but that's another pretty good signing, I believe, as well. So yeah, Arsenal, I feel like you guys, in comparison to last year, you've done better business than you did last year, because we know the reason why you didn't get top four is because you didn't have reinforcements in January, and now you've gone out and got reinforcements during the title race. I feel like you have to for in the title race, especially in a season where you're playing 2 to 3 games a week. You need reinforcements and you need a big squad. So I think it's good business from Arsenal. But yeah, Josh, what do you think about Jorginho switching to North London?
Yeah, like I already said, he offers the experience that they might not have in the title race. But they have Zinchenko and Jesus have been there and done it. So I guess it's not lacking in the sense, but it's just useful to have a player of that presence. But on his qualities as a player, I do think he is diminishing as a player compared to what he was when he first came. Like physicality, obviously he's never been a physical player, but he does struggle with that a lot, especially in like drills. He's quite weak at them. He is actually good at reading. He's not that bad, but he's good at it. But like, physicality is an important part of the game, and he is losing that bit by bit. Obviously, his game's not dependent on it, but he is losing it a bit. But obviously, with Arteta's system, he doesn't have to cover that much base. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my bad. But yeah, no, I feel like someone like him, like similar to like Zinchenko, he just offers that calming presence on the pitch and off the pitch, especially on the ball. He's very methodical, very conservative on the ball. So yeah, I don't think you can really go wrong with players like that, because they're not really high risk, high reward players. He does the job that he needs to do. So I don't think it's an issue per se. And it's not a long contract, so Arsenal aren't really tying themselves down to anything, and he's not a hothead or anything like that. So I think it's a decent signing, but yeah, it's just all right, man. Nothing special. And I think like what you're saying, that the window was, I guess they got the business done, but it was kind of underwhelming. Like
Yeah,
Mudryk to Trossard, and then Caicedo to Jorginho. When you look at it like that, it's kind of disappointing because these are obviously Mudryk. Let's see a bit more because there's only one game that we've seen of him, but it's like these were players that high potential in it. You know, you can really grow with these guys. Trossard and Jorginho, let's be honest, you're not really going to grow with them in it. By next season, let's not write off Trossard yet, but Jorginho definitely by next season you're going to be looking to the future in it. You would have looked to the future with your Caicedos and stuff like that. So I do understand it from that perspective, but I guess Arsenal do need the squad depth, especially now competing with the title, Europa League and stuff. So and these guys proven. So I don't think it's a bad business for them, but I guess yeah, it doesn't elevate them. But it's January anyway. It's hard to elevate yourself in January.
Yeah. Another thing that I want to bring up, we're having this conversation about it during the midweek about just the amount of pool that the Premier League has nowadays in this transfer window. Because I've just looked on my phone and seen that Keylor Navas is going to what, Nottingham Forest. Can we talk about that? Like the disparity in power and pool in the Prem compared to other leagues? Because we had obviously the Super League thing going on where all these big corporations wanted to stop the Super League. The Premier League is the Super League, let's be honest. Like, because of, I think Dan was talking about before, you have Bournemouth rivaling AC Milan for signings. You have Keylor Navas going to Nottingham Forest, like Weston McKennie going to Leeds. Obviously, there's the American link there, but players that are playing for top European sides are coming to play for like bottom table clubs in the Premier League. It's just like the disparity and the cash flow in the Premier is completely different to any other league. So what do you guys think about that?
Can I say is a key thing about marketing? Like I was saying, like the Prem has done it in a way where everybody eats. You see in La Liga, Serie A, I won't Bundesliga is different, but you see the other leagues almost uh the rich versus the poor in the sense, the big versus the small. Like there you can see the clear disparities in how they're treated. But with the Prem, the TV deals are equally distributed. Everybody's getting their own share. And in that sense, everybody grows together. Obviously, there's still going to be discrepancies. Like no one can say Chelsea are equal to Bournemouth or Arsenal are equal to Aston Villa, but Aston Villa can still compete. We saw a couple of years ago Aston Villa trying to buy Smith Rowe in it for 40 M's. Like you can see, like everybody in the Prem can eat, which can't be said for everywhere else. So at the same time, yeah, you can look at it and feel sorry for other leagues, but the Prem have looked after themselves better than all the other leagues, and they're getting their rewards for that. So at the same time, I can't necessarily feel sorry for La Liga. It's only La Liga last couple of years that have now started to give more money to the smaller teams. Now they've seen what the Premier League can do. So is in my opinion, a big part of it is the marketing and how the Premier League has pushed itself.
Yeah, or what do you think about the disparity?
yeah, I agree. I agree with George on that point that the marketing of the Premier League has been far better, especially in recent years. And obviously, I think it was George that mentioned it as well too. That obviously like the English speaking like tax as well too, obviously added upon that. So I feel like just a combination of these factors is kind of why, the Premier League, which is based in England, is kind of the most popular league in the world. Just even the top six marketing, all of that stuff, like I think like they've really thought about all of this stuff and they've really planned it out. They've really planned it out well. But with that being said, though, it is still a bit scary that like a lot of these traditional clubs and historical clubs are competing with the bottom of the league in the Premier League, like like you said, Bournemouth and what AC Milan, like competing financially for a player, like that's just unheard of, really. So yeah, like carrying on this trajectory, I don't know what like is gonna what the future is gonna hold. Because if they genuinely continue on this path, then it would get to some point where, like, these clubs wouldn't be able to compete financially anymore. And I'm just, wondering what it's going to be like, when we get to that stage. Because the gap in wealth is just becoming a bit much in terms of, the Premier League and the other leagues. So yeah, and like obviously more investors also now coming to the Premier League as well, because they can also see that there is a lot of money to be made from there. Like look at what happened with Newcastle recently as well too. So that is going to happen a lot more. And yeah, it will just get to a point where, like, I really wonder what, like, it will probably come to a point where only like Real Madrid, are the only ones that can really compete. Even like we even saw Barcelona competing financially, like, struggling financially for the past couple of years. And every other team, even Bayern, I wouldn't particularly say Bayern are so wealthy as well too. Like a lot of Bayern signings are very well articulated, and they sign like loans and stuff like that. Like you rarely hardly see Bayern also splashing cash like the way the Premier League teams do. So I can't really think of any team in Europe, that is like, besides Real Madrid, that kind of has like, that much financial, firepower. Or PSG, obviously, I forgot about PSG. Yeah. But yeah, obviously, besides PSG and Madrid, I can't really think of any team that, like, can compete financially. And yeah, that's like the future of European football. I just wonder how it's gonna pan out, how it's gonna go out. But yeah, I guess that's what the Super League were, kind of thinking about. They wanted like a lot of the historical clubs to remain traditional and stuff, like, um, so yeah, but people rejected that and stuff. I guess the Super League as well, I guess they didn't market it well enough as well too. And a lot of people had a lot of confusion as to what the Super League was. I think a lot of people thought like they'll be ending the regular leagues and just like, making it or just the Super League. But that was not the case, it was just it was kind of a different league. I think the Super League was probably meant to compete more with, Champions League maybe. But yeah, regardless though, it's quite interesting to see what's going to happen in terms of the future of the Premier League in comparison to the other leagues. But yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to see just a complete disparity between the two. But you did mention Bayern Munich. I just want to quickly go over obviously the Cancelo deal. It was I feel like it was a big shock, to be honest. Like I wasn't expecting him to leave Man City. It's like it's weird because
I think there were rumors that like Pep had a falling out with. There are rumors that Pep had a falling out with Cancelo, I think, and apparently had a falling out with a couple other players. Were saying like they were not too happy or stuff like that, from what I heard at City, like Gundogan and Silva and stuff like that. But I know particularly he had a like when was Cancelo's last game even? I can't remember when he just got phased out. Like I don't even know. I don't think I'd been key. Like I remember the Liverpool game where he made that mistake. But after that, I don't know. Yeah, I'm guessing they probably did have like a disagreement or something. But yeah, very strange, very random the signing.
I think it might have been just before the World Cup, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was.
I think it was just before.
Because I think that's when did Rico Lewis? That's when Rico Lewis kind of came through. I think was it before the World Cup or after?
I think it was before.
Before the World Cup.
It was before the World Cup, yeah.
I think it's a big move from Pep, and it sets a precedent that no one's safe in the City squad. I think it gives them a little bit of a kick up the bum, in the sense that at the beginning of the season and last season, we were talking about Cancelo as one of the best right backs in the league, or best fullbacks in the league in general. And now he's deemed a surplus to requirements by Pep and getting shipped out to Bayern Munich. It just shows that no one's really safe in that squad. And I think it's good from Pep. It's setting a message that no one's safe here. If you guys get complacent, I'll ship you out. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what you've done previously. And we're even seeing it with Ruben Diaz as well. Like, I don't know.
Yo, that's what I was gonna ask. Where is that done?
Yeah. Is he injured, or is it a thing where Pep just prefers Akanji and Ake? What is he playing? Is he playing Akanji and Ake at the moment, or is it Akanji and Stones?
It's Akanji and Stones, but Stones got injured in our game. So it's probably going to be Ake and Akanji from now on. Yeah.
So who's their left back option then? Because it wasn't Ake playing left back.
Ake playing. Rico plays left back a lot now, but Ake is also.
Yeah.
Basically between Ake and Lewis. But it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Like I thought Cancelo wasn't good defensively, and everyone always knew that. So I think that's what was finally probably like the final push for Pep. So I don't know. Maybe a disagreement came because of that. Probably Cancelo feeling like he didn't need to defend as much, or like But yeah, that's why I always say with players like that, like there would always come a time when people would love them, people would hate them, people would love them, people would hate them. Like someone like Trent, basically. When you're not as strong in one area of your game as another, people would always pick that. People would always decide which one to pick, depending on like how the team is doing or how like um. But yeah, I don't know.
With City,
Yeah,
I can see in the summer Laporte. I think I see Diaz might stay, but I feel like Laporte, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan
yeah. There's going to be a clear
will
out
leave.
because Gundogan
Will
is on
leave.
his last. Gundogan's contract is over. So either he goes for free or they renew his contract. I don't think they're going to renew his contract. I'm sure Arteta will be looking at that, but I know City will never sell again to us. So, but yeah, I know a couple players. I think I had Bernardo Silva links with Barcelona. I think they're interested in him. But yeah, I know City are gonna have some sorts. I also saw Madison links today with City.
With City,
Apparently they want him to come in the summer.
What are they trying to do with that? I don't understand.
I don't know. I don't know really. Yeah, I don't know how Pep is really like leaving the City side. It's getting a bit confusing.
Lucky, I see him moving Grealish to the middle.
Yeah, but you can't move Grealish to the middle if you're gonna sign Madison. Even both of them in the same team.
No, he's gonna. I think he'll buy another winger.
He's buy another winger. If you move Grealish to the middle,
but Madison's a 10.
You can't play someone like Grealish and De Bruyne in the same midfield. I would just not. That's not midfield. Yeah, that's not midfield anymore. Like that's just too much work for Rodri. Like you need someone that has at least a bit of Who does he play now? He plays.
Surely you'd rather move Foden into the middle than like Grealish.
Yeah, even Foden.
I don't even know for Foden.
Even Foden.
I don't even know for Foden right now.
Oh, I feel like he's had an okay season. He hasn't been bad, but it's interesting that he would get rid of Cancelo, especially when he's in the title race and he's competing for Champions League. You at least want depth. It's not if you're competing for Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues. Why are you getting rid of key players? I don't understand. Even if like you're not starting him, you still want him in the squad.
You still want him in the squad just in case something. Yeah, it's strange. It's a strange.
No, but
it doesn't
you see
make
the thing with Pep though. Pep's a stubborn guy. We've heard. Do you remember the story of Henry when Henry said he scored one goal and then Pep was like, "No, that's not how you score it." Do you remember that story that Henry said?
I think so.
Nah, I don't know the story.
Pep's about his principles. If you don't follow his principles, get out. And you have to respect it. That's why he's successful in it. You have to follow his principles.
But it could cost him. It could cost him. Like, no matter what happens this season, but either way, if City don't win it, then everyone is going to look back in this and be like, oh, he should have probably kept Cancelo or something like that. You know how people work. It's basically hindsight talking like that. But will be interesting to see how they go on this season. Because Rico is good. He looks good, but I mean he's still really young and like there is there's a lot of expectation on just him. I mean I guess Ake also plays left back here and there, but we'll see how they do.
The thing is, they didn't reinforce. They didn't bring anyone in. That's the thing.
They didn't bring anyone in.
You got rid of Cancelo and you brought in someone, maybe a young, promising left back or something like that. Then fair enough, understandable. I mean, but that's one less player in the squad.
City can never really struggle with depth, in my opinion. Like,
true.
They just have way too many. Like, even now with Cancelo, like now they still have like two players who can play left back. So it's all very. They always just have a way to make things work.
Now, if you deep it, that's kind of crazy. They've lost two left backs in two transfer windows, and they're still fine in that position.
In that position, yeah,
it's crazy depth.
The amount of depth that they have. They have very versatile, flexible players as well too. So, yeah, but yeah, Diaz as well too. I haven't heard of him.
It's an odd one.
Very
odd. I don't know what's going on.
I've completely forgot he existed. It's like Lukaku, bro. Like I forgot that these men existed.
He just signed a Kanji and he just threw a Kanji straight into straight into starting position. He doesn't even really start Foden again, or is Foden? Foden is available, is he not?
Yeah, he's available. He just doesn't really play him.
Doesn't really.
You, it's odd. But yeah, switching to the other Manchester club. I don't think we're gonna get any business done. But Eriksen obviously got injured against Reading. Horror tackle from Andy Carroll, abysmal. But Andy's out for 3 months, so it kind of forced our hand in a sense to go out and get Marcel Sabitzer. It's with United. It confuses me, and I don't want to rant, but I understand when people say, "Oh, obviously the Glazers are not going to want to invest because of they're selling the club," but at the same time, surely you would want to spend money to reinforce like top four and possibly a trophy like a Carabao Cup or FA Cup or Europa League. Because if it's going to be easier to sell a club that's on an upward trajectory and then Champions League than a club that's in Europa League next season. So I don't understand all this talk about, oh, they're selling the club, that's why they're not spending. It doesn't make sense to me. And why does it take them so long to do business as well? That's the thing that confuses me too, because we've known that we need more depth in the midfield, because if Casemiro goes down, we're screwed. If Eriksen goes down, he's gone down. Obviously, Fred can slot into that role, but it's too much pressure on Fred to be playing every single game 2 times, 3 times a week. Too much pressure on any player to be playing that amount of games. So we knew this season, and plus we're still in full competitions as well. So we knew and we were aware that we needed to spend money, at least a little bit of money, to just get a bit more depth in the squad. And I don't like how it's caused injury has forced our hand into signing a player like Sabitzer. We should have been trying to sign him at the beginning of the window. I don't understand. United's just we're always reactive. We're never proactive in the window. That's the thing that annoys me about United under the Glazers. Hopefully it'll change in the summer and all that, but just don't get the transfer policy. It's a mess. You see teams like Chelsea go in and just constantly buying. Obviously, we don't need to do what Chelsea have done.
Can I ask?
But yeah, sorry.
Sorry to cut you, but do you want to be spending like Chelsea?
Do you
want a scattergun a prawn?
No, I just said I don't. Obviously, I was gonna go into that. I was saying, you see teams spending like Chelsea. Obviously, I don't want Man United to spend the way Chelsea has spent. I think it's reckless. I think it might end up backfiring on them because you're gonna have a bunch of people on 10-year deals, and if they don't bang, then you've got them on a 10-year contracts. It's very risky from Chelsea. I don't want that approach, but at least something would be nice, like maybe like show interest in at least a couple players. Caicedo, I know they say we don't have the money, but Caicedo's a quality player. We should be looking at that deal. Like, they're quality players in the market, and we're playing in full competitions. We should be looking at play. It shouldn't take an injury to Eriksen to go out and be proactive and go and get players in the market. You can't just be waiting for someone to get injured before you go buy players. You have to actually be proactive in the window. And United we're always lazy in transfer windows. We always neglect the January window for some reason. I don't understand why. And it's frustrating as a fan because you're seeing even Leeds going out getting Weston McKennie. You're seeing different teams that are in worse positions than us going out and getting quality players. There's quality in the market. You can't use the excuse, oh, there's no quality in the market, because there are good players out there. It's just that United are always lazy and reactive rather than proactive. But I think the Sabitzer deal is a good deal. I think he's not Eriksen. In fact, it's tough to compare the two. I don't think they're even similar, to be honest. If I'm being completely and truly honest, I think Eriksen's more of a playmaker. He's a way better playmaker. But maybe Sabitzer has that a bit more bite about him. He's a bit more tenacious, and he can probably play in that 8 role against the big teams like the Liverpools and the Arsenals, or maybe because you're not going to play a pivot of Casemiro and Eriksen in big games. I think maybe you can play a pivot of Casemiro and Sabitzer in big games. So I feel like it'll help us indoors. But obviously, playing against low blocks, I feel like Eriksen's a better player and it will be missed in the squad. But overall, I think it's a decent signing. It just frustrates me that it takes so long for United to do things. But yeah, what do you guys think about just the whole situation in general?
Yeah, I think it was obviously a very rushed signing with the news of the Eriksen injury. Probably thought United should have gone out and at least signed a player maybe, this January, regardless of, Eriksen's injury or not. But yeah, I guess it propelled them to make that signing. And it's a decent one. Someone who can basically, I personally still think like in terms of like probably a lot of games they should still use the Fred Casemiro, midfield pairing. But I think Sabitzer is a very good option in terms of depth and squad depth, and he's the type of player that like he's a really good striker of the ball. So he can be good in like for the final third, and he has a lot of energy as well, which is usually good for midfield players. Although on a like long term, it's a loan signing as well. So that's like I'm not sure. Obviously, depending on how well he plays, would determine whether United would look into keeping him or not. I don't really think he's going to be that essential in order to keep. But he's one of those players that can just come out of nowhere and just fit into that team properly, maybe. So it's something that they could consider. But I feel regardless, next summer they should obviously be looking at bringing a new midfielder in. Someone to just play with Casemiro in that middle. And then just keep all the other options as squad depth options. But yeah, regardless, I guess it's still good that they were still able to pull this off. Because if it wasn't the case, and they would have obviously been a number short in midfield, and that would affect them for the rest of the season. But yeah, I think the signing is good enough to help them, stay in the top four and compete for that top four position, and probably win a trophy with that as well too. Just having, because United are in 4 competitions, like you mentioned, so depth and all of that is really important, to be able to kind of maintain how they keep doing in these positions. But yeah, I guess it's good for them that they got that signing through eventually, and yeah, let's see how well he does in the season.
Oh, what's a bit so? Yeah, there's a panic buying it. You weren't gonna buy him before, so uh, fam, we're talking about Awar, bro. I would go for Awar, man. I don't know if he has any like attitude issues or whatever it is, but that's a baller right there, man. He can definitely play in a pivot, like a quality footballer. I would go in for him in it. But Sabitzer, yeah, just a body in it to have there. But I don't see like, because Oreo was saying like tenacious and stuff like that, but they got Fred. They got Fred, man. Like, do they really need another guy that's energetic
Yeah,
and
but that's
you
not
know?
all he offers, though. He offers a bit more than that. But in certain games, you're playing Fred over Sabitzer, of course. It's they're not the same player. There's differences between the two. But
But
Yeah,
let's
for
not
sure.
pretend like Sabitzer's like
So Bista
hmm?
would help them in the final third. Like he can, like, he's the type of midfielder you rule a ball to at the edge of the box, and he can put it top bins and stuff like that. Like he would offer a lot more in the final third. And defensively, I mean, in terms of midfield, like they haven't really had any problems defensively with Casemiro being in there. If I'm very honest, like with Casemiro being in there, like their midfield looks secure defensively, regardless of who plays in this thing. Because ideally, even Ericsson offers like nothing defensively for United. Like he's even quite poor defensively for them. Like
even the Saka goal
when I was
was
yeah
basically
when I was watching the game,
yeah.
he was just, yeah, he's like, but yeah, to me, like with Casemiro being in there, if Casemiro can be cover for someone like Ericsson defensively, and like playing a midfield of Bruno, Ericsson, and still being solid defensively is just amazing. Because to me, I genuinely would never even attempt to put Bruno and Ericsson in the same midfield with just a single player playing for the pivot. But yeah, like Casemiro has really just like proved that if anyone could do that, then like he's the type of player too. So I mean, like regardless of who else they play in that midfield, all they just really need is someone who can cover defensively if needed, and someone who can also be useful in the final third, really. And I think Sabitzer is, he can prove to be that. He's not going to be like this crazy signing or anything like that, but he's like, he's good enough for just their depth and stuff like that. In terms of our, I don't know, I don't know, kind of fell off a bit, if I'm being honest. Like he's still a quality player and stuff, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what exactly he would offer to United at the moment. Um, like his good press resistance and stuff. I guess maybe they can use that, but I don't know. I don't really see what he offers too much to United at the moment. Like um in terms of that extra midfield position, like someone like Caicedo for United would be probably a better, way better option than our. I think he just has a bit more all roundness. But yeah, I wonder what like happens with the all situation, but we'll see.
To be honest, I don't think we'll get that one over the line. Some
Yeah,
sources were saying that we had the pick of Awar, Sabitzer, Carrasco. I don't know why the hell. I'm not sure if I believe that, but Carrasco apparently, and we decided to pursue Sabitzer.
mm,
The wild deal, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that was just small speculation, maybe just to get a bit of buzz around the club. Or maybe signing two midfielders. I don't know. Maybe for dopamine they put that one out there, but realistically, I don't think that's happening. We
mm.
just have to look at our option in the summer. Look at for me, Casado would be Casado Casemiro pivot would be absolutely sensational. I would love that pivot.
Mm.
That would be a very good pivot because I feel like now that Arsenal didn't get Casado, now I feel like you're gonna turn your attention to Rice in the summer.
Yeah,
I don't think you're gonna go back in for
if I'm
Casado. To
being
be
very
honest,
honest with you, I want both, but
I don't think both is tough.
both is
Both is
tough.
very
It's
because
tough.
they probably want 100 M's for Casado now.
And West Ham would probably want 100 M's again too for
Yeah,
Rice. Both is really
exactly.
both is really tough, but both would
You're
just
gonna
be
have to pick
difficult
one.
because like both players can both play six, can both play eight, and they're incredible players. So yeah, if you have Rice and Caicedo in your midfield, like you're sorted for probably the next decade really, because they're both like 21 to 23 around those ages. So but yeah, I would prefer Rice all the same. I prefer Rice all the same, but I wouldn't mind either. But I don't know who, because I'm not sure if Caicedo was going to play a six anyways. He can provide cover for there, but I think he's more of an eight. But yeah, we'll see what we do this summer. Should be interesting.
Yeah, will be an interesting one. Um, what else has been happening in the window? Obviously Tottenham, but no one gives a toss about Tottenham. Let's be real.
Yeah, yeah,
Kind of back
Tottenham.
up right back, and they got rid of. I saw they got rid of Jed Spence as well on loan.
Yeah, yeah. When I learn,
It
yeah,
just, it just shows that the board and Conte are not aligned. Because how can you sign
they don't have a.
like it's just a mess. Because you can
I've
tell
got a
Conte
question
didn't want
for
Spence.
Ori.
Yeah.
Lukonga's coming to Palace, innit? I just
Yeah.
wanted to know what's your thoughts on Lukonga, innit?
Oh, um, yeah. I don't know. He hasn't really been impressing me recently. I don't know. There's just something. I think it's more of a mental thing, rather than his actual ability. But I don't really think he had the motivation or will, to like. And I know like the thing is like social media and all of that. It doesn't help. Twitter and stuff. I think we're just talking about this recently. How like Twitter affects footballers or the football world in general. And yeah, I think even when you watch the Arsenal documentary and stuff, he was feeling a bit sad, not starting and stuff like that. So mentally, I don't think he's there yet. I think he needs a lot of working on. Then we can actually talk about the footballing, side. Whether he's a six or an eight. I think he's an eight, and a lot of times Arteta has tried to play him in a lone six in like a lot of precious games, and that would just add to the bad rep that he kind of has. Like the United game when he played the lone six, everyone's like, oh, if we had Party, and stuff. Yeah, we had Party, it would have been a bit better, but still, you must wonder what that kind of thing does to a player, mentally and stuff. So I'm not going to write him off because he's a young player, but I think this loan for Palace is really really good. In terms of getting him back to a mental state we want him in. It's the type of place where he can learn, grow. He has Vieira as well too, who has been like a good coach at Palace. So all yeah, I think it's a really good experience for him to kind of learn the trade before he comes back to Arsenal. But yeah, I'll still give him another go when he returns. But um, I think the loan is a good move for him, and hopefully, it can help him to improve in all aspects of his game.
Yeah, think one signing to look out for is it's gone under the radar. It's lower league, well, lower in the table signing, but Southampton, they signed Solomano. I rate him. I can't lie. I think he's a good player. I think that's going to be a good signing for them. I think that's just one to keep an eye out for.
Is it the Ghanaian player?
Yeah. He plays for Rennes.
Yeah. He looked really good when I saw him in the World Cup. I remember, like,
he had a good AFCON as well.
Yeah. He's really quick. Really, like, type of player that I really like that have like love burst and like they can they're a good 1v1. I think Southampton also signed Onuachu, which is this like Nigerian striker that was playing really well in the game. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's been confirmed.
I think last time I saw it was in talks or deal close or something like that. I'm not sure.
They're about to sign him for 18M. Yeah, I don't know how that one's going to pan out. I think the Onuachu is really good. Like, he was really comfortable in Genk. Like, it's not a tough league at all. I think the Premier League is a very different ball game. So I'll be interested to see how he does. But for a club like Southampton and their position, like he can, like, it's kind of like they have nothing to lose really. But yeah, like we're just saying again, like the financial thing is also kind of crazy because where on earth are Southampton getting like even 20M? It's
like what 40M's on deadline day, isn't it?
Sorry. What is 14M on deadline day?
40. They've spent 40M's.
Yeah, how much
Solomano for? 22 million.
Oh yeah, like exactly. That's literally what I'm saying. Like, where is Southampton saying 40 plus M? The clubs in Prem are just it's way too hard to compete financially. Our is trending.
Yeah, I think it's just United fans being dumb. It's just United fans being dumb and getting excited.
Yeah. Did you mention Isco was offered to you as well?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. But he failed his medical, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, he failed his medical for Union, but he was meant to go to Union Berlin in like second.
I saw the deal collapse, but I didn't know it was.
I think it's because he failed his medical.
That is crazy.
That is a sad story. That guy, man.
He had man. When he was playing for Malaga, so much potential. He was Malaga, right? He was playing for Madrid. He had so much potential. He had a decent career at Madrid. I used to rate him highly, man.
Yeah, he was really good on the ball, but I don't know, just one of those players that never really.
Yeah, and the injury record is kind of bad as well. It's not someone you'd want to be bringing in for squad depth.
Yeah, definitely not. What other deals are there? I think we've covered really a lot of the main ones.
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to think
outside of transfers, I was watching the Napoli and Roma game, I like the what's his name, the Georgian guy, innit?
Kvaratskhelia.
He's nice, innit?
He's
you see Osimhen,
Yeah.
Different breed.
Mourinho said that Osimhen is on the same level as Drogba, innit?
I saw that.
When you look at him, the guy, bro, he can occupy defenders, man. Like, he does occupy defenders like Drogba. Like, the thing with him, he might not be as strong on pure strength.
Nah,
as Drogba,
he is strong.
He's strong.
You're comparing him to Drogba in terms of strength. Okay.
Yeah. He's not as strong.
He's not as strong as Drogba, but he's
way faster than Drogba.
Yeah,
he's way faster than Drogba. That guy is rapid.
He's quality. He's finishing the swallows.
Yeah, no, he's insane. He's insane.
Ori put me on. I remember a time ago Ori was telling me.
No, he's great. Like all of us Nigerians, like we knew that this guy is like, he's probably he could retire as the best ever Nigerian player. I know it's tough, obviously, with Okocha and stuff, but this guy looks like he looks like the real deal, really, because he's still like 22 or what, he's really young.
Yeah, and I think he's 20. Is it 22 or 23?
23, yeah. But like, he has all the qualities that like you'd really want, like that strength, that height, the physicality, the speed, everything. Like, he's like what he's going to do.
Prefer him than Haaland, definitely though. I prefer him more than Haaland. I prefer strikers like that than Haaland, bro.
Really,
he can actually create goals by himself, bro. Haaland's stiff, man.
Nah.
Let's
Okay.
not. Let's ease on the Haaland slander, man. The guy's got 25
I'm
goals.
like, you know
Yeah.
me. I was number one general Haaland slander, but like it doesn't make sense to slander the guy, man. Like
No. The guy's an elite goal
he's
scorer.
too fake.
I'm not gonna buzz him for that. But you see, Osimhen, the way
Yeah.
the guy can just, hey, the guy's he's a problem. Obviously,
Yeah.
Haaland's certified, isn't it? Haaland's certified. I'm not discrediting man, but it's like
Yeah.
the way Osimhen was moving, like the guy will occupy
Yeah,
all the back four.
yeah. No, like overall, yeah. Osimhen has a lot more qualities overall, but yeah, like in terms of that goal scoring, yeah, I don't think Osimhen would ever match. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
think
getting 40 goals,
I
yeah,
don't think he
45
would
goals,
match-
like it's
I don't think he
yes.
would ever match Haaland goal scoring. I don't think anyone actually will even like he may probably break all the records really.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Osimhen is he's incredible, and I hope he doesn't go United because he's one of my best players.
I want him over Kane.
Like,
I'll say it. No, I'm saying it on record. I want him over Kane. I'll be honest.
it's not the craziest shout though, but I don't know. To me, like just I just can't say no to Harry Kane really, especially being in the Premier League, and if you're like
Yeah,
if
but
you're almost at that level where you're about to like actually challenge or win the league or something like that. Like Osimhen is all well and good, but it's at the end of the day, it's still always a gamble. No matter how good a player is playing,
it is. Yeah.
no matter who you sign, like bringing a player into like someone like that is way more of a gamble than someone like Kane. I would say.
You know what? It's tough because of it's either you go for Kane or Osman. Obviously, I think
Yeah.
Vlahovic will be in the deal. Maybe Sesko. I've heard.
Yeah.
I don't know how because I thought Sesko was going Leipzig. I thought that was confirmed, but
Mhm.
apparently we can still get Sesko. But it's the thing where you don't want Osman landing at Chelsea. I don't want.
Would Chelsea sign him?
They need a striker. Don't. Well, in fact, no. They bought
he
Nkunku.
should go, man. That's
They
Drogba,
bought
that's
Nkunku.
Drogba 2.0. That's the true Drogba.
Nah, they
2.0.
bought. The thing is, they bought Nkunku.
They did, but Chelsea are going to sign
That's not
again. They're going to sign. They're going to have a big signing in summer, obviously, and like
Yeah.
the only
I just don't
position
want to.
for
I'd rather
actually-
Kane go to Chelsea than Osman. That's all I'm saying.
even then, Kane in Chelsea too. That's I don't know.
I don't think Kane and Chelsea slaps as much as Kane and United.
Kane slaps anywhere though. Kane slaps anywhere though.
Yeah.
Like Kane being on
Oh
form.
yeah, dropping it deep and then spraying boost to Mudryk.
Kane being on form in the league is just guaranteed. Like you can count on Kane in it. He's just way too reliable. And the amazing thing about Kane is that like with him getting older now is the fact that like he has never really relied on pace in his game. So he's just a pure, finisher, pure striker, and like he also has, a lot more to his game where he can like create chances and stuff. But in terms of him just like ball striking and stuff, like Kane is like probably one of the best I've genuinely seen, especially in the league. Like but yeah, Osimhen, yeah, I wanted us to sign him instead of Jesus. But I still want him. I know it's very unlikely that we sign him, but I know he's going to come to Prem, but it just depends on when. And I know he's going to go for a lot. He's going to go for a lot of money.
It'll be like 100, at least 100.
Maybe minimum 100, but it's going to be more than that.
Probably be like 120. I think
after the season is going to.
I think he'll break the record. He'll break the record, the Prem record.
Because that signing from even Napoli signed him for serious.
They signed for what was it, 70 mil or something?
70 mil or something. Yeah. And that was from Wolfsburg, and he didn't even have a good season like before that. So imagine him winning the Golden Boot and the Scudetto, and probably maybe having a good Champions League run. Like,
Did he play in France too, or am I bugging? He played in.
He did. He played in where did he play?
Did he play for in France?
He played for
Lille, yeah. For Lille,
so this guy's he's got pedigree. To be fair, he's been around.
He's been around. Yeah, he's played like. I remember he played against Chelsea when he was in Lille in the Champions League, and he scored as well. But yeah, no, he's been around. But this is his defining season. I thought it would have been last season. Napoli were very good, but he got injured. He's injury prone though. But I mean, a lot of young players these days. I mean, Haaland too is injury prone, but again, like we said, the Premier League is also clear in terms of like medical facilities and stuff. So, but yeah, I'm curious as to see how his career goes. But like he's just way too exciting right now. Like even for like the next gen of like Nigeria as well too. If we can just become a serious country for once, because Lookman as well too has been having a really good season in
At
Syria.
Atlanta, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
he's been playing well.
and then we have Chukwueze in Villarreal too. So yeah, I mean, we potentially have like the Lookman, Osimhen, Chukwueze from three, and that is impressive. But I don't know, we just never ever managed to like be able to put our squad together for some reason. Um, but we'll see,
You
we'll
still
see.
have the is it Portuguese guy that's managing us?
No, 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 no. That guy left in it.
I can't remember, man.
We have Eguna Vor or something like that. He's this Nigerian guy, but like I don't know, he's not up to standard for me. Um, I don't know who I really want. Really, I think we should give Yobo. We should probably just give Yobo a try.
Oh,
He's like
Yobo.
he's assistant manager right now, and he's been for like the past couple years. But yeah, I like the managers he's played. He played under Moyes and everything and stuff. So like, um, I think he has a lot of experience in that department. Like, I'm always so open to giving young managers like a try, even like with no experience or anything. Like, because I feel like a lot of young managers, these like a lot of them have like new ideas, like new experiences and stuff. So like, it's always just you can never really lose out with it. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. We know with African teams, it's all politics as well. Because even so, I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
Yeah, with Otto Addo and Ghana, it was just a mess. Like he's a
yeah,
promising manager. He's the
yeah.
assistant at Dortmund, isn't he? But he was shocking for Ghana. Some of the decision making,
Yeah,
I don't know whether it was his decision making, but some of the selections
no,
were
no,
just
no. The selection
abysmal.
wouldn't be his. It will be all
Yeah,
politics and stuff like that. And that's the problem.
exactly.
That's the biggest problem. Like I remember when we still had Musa still playing for us after like I'm like why? It's like it's just like the way you guys have the IU brothers in it. Like why are the IU brothers still but it's all just politics and all just can never really get into that. Um but yeah, United should sign a striker next summer for sure. But it all just depends who it's
I
gonna
think it's
be.
guaranteed. Yeah, it's between
It
obviously
could be Val.
it's a good market. It's a good
Yeah,
market to be
it's
fair.
becoming a good market actually. I can't lie because there's
I
Kane,
don't
there's
think it's ever been this healthy for
Vlahovic.
strikers.
In a while, yeah, I haven't seen like
Yeah,
these proper lineup of actual nines.
because you
Uh,
got Kane, you got Vlahovic, you got Osman, you've got Sesko.
yeah.
That's four top quality strikers available. Even I was gonna say Mokoko, but he signed a new deal at Dortmund, so I have to stick with.
Would Kane go though? I don't know.
I don't know. We have to wait and see, to be honest.
If this
Because
guy if this guy actually retires at Tottenham, my
waste of career.
my goodness, if this guy actually retires at Tottenham, he hasn't won one trophy in his career.
And it's
One.
probably gonna end up all-time Prem top goal scorer, but it's not a
Probably the
trophy.
prime all-time goal scorer. Yeah.
It's like
Saying that though,
No, I always
saying
thought
that,
like
then
what?
not carry on, right?
Yeah, I always thought like I don't know. I thought he wouldn't break it for some reason when like all those years back when he used to be like, but now he only needs like what? I think he's going to be on 200 now, and Shearer is like 260, so
Yeah.
he'll 230 goal seasons maybe. That's impressive though. Yeah, what are you going to say, Josh?
You know, I feel like the trophy logic, with the thing. I think that only really applies when you're talking about like the GOAT in a sense. Like let's be honest, you can't say Harry Kane's not one of the best strikers in Premier League
Oh
history.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, we can say that, but at the
It's
end of the day,
kind of
you want to
embarrassing.
win.
That's more it. Yeah, it's just
yeah,
embarrassing. Like not even just like the whole trophy thing is like for the good. Like even one, like just one,
Not even
like
a Carabao Cup or
not
something, or
even
a little
something to
cheeky
just say
FA
that.
Cup.
Not even something to show that okay, you played the competitive stuff and you won. Like you won with your team. Like nothing to show
Yeah,
that. That is just crazy to me. That is just crazy to me. Like he can retire with everything, like the highest goal scorer, golden boots, all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, like he's obviously gonna look back if he doesn't win any trophy and be like, "What the heck did I do? Like with my time, with my career?" Um, Yeah, it's just it's just a bit embarrassing. But yeah, being like it doesn't take away his name as being like one of the greatest and stuff like that. No one can deny that. Yeah.
But yeah, guys, is there anything else we'd like to cover?
No Premier League coming
Have
next
you,
week.
is there any updates for the transfer or no,
Uh,
I
nothing
don't
new?
think anything. It's been quite. I think Sabitza's arrived at Carrington, but we kind of know that those already happening. So I don't
yeah,
think there's any been.
Arsenal
Hasn't really
announced
been anything new.
announced the Jorginho thing.
Yeah,
Again, we already knew that.
Skriniar. But that's to PSG. That's in the summer though. They've agreed to do in the summer for a free deal.
It's an interesting deal. I guess
Because they
Ramos
wanted to
is
get
gonna
it
probably
done.
leave or something.
Possibly, probably go Saudi Arabia. Because they wanted to get that one done for now, I guess. But Milan want. Surely, if you're Milan, you take money and then let him go. Because if you know he's going in the summer, but yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Dyche to Everton. That was a managerial, but
Yeah,
that's interesting though.
yeah, I'm looking about.
Weirdly enough,
Nothing.
I'll be so honest with you. I'm kind of worried about Everton this weekend. I know.
Don't worry. Oh yeah, new manager bounce. You never know.
New
But,
manager bounce. You can never replace new manager bounce. There's just something
yeah.
joking about it. Like players wanting to play for a new manager and stuff. It's away as well. 12:30. I don't have a good feeling, but
One's away.
it's away.
Oh, yeah.
It's not easy at Goodison, I can't lie. Even, no matter what way they're in.
Saturday, yeah. Even if like with new manager bounce, it's not looking very. But we'll see. Then after that we have Brentford and then the City game. That City game is going to be so huge.
Yeah. I'm trying to. Yeah, I don't think anything else is really going down, to be fair.
Yeah, nothing else is really happening. Well, signed Porro.
I don't know what's happening with the Fernandes though with Chelsea, but it's looking a bit tight. Because I thought that would have been done by now.
Yeah, Omari went to West Brom on loan. And then yeah, if this Ezzo deal doesn't go through though, then
they'll be back in for him in the summer, to be fair. But yeah.
True. But yeah, I guess that's it on the transfer news.
Yeah, so I think we probably ended there. I'm going for an hour actually, so yeah.
Yeah, that's actually very
good. Yeah. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching. Obviously, like, comment, and subscribe. We'll have some more content for you guys coming up soon. And yeah, see you guys later.